Happy New Year. Yep. First live stream of 2024. A year that is almost guaranteed to be an absolute shit show. But that's as may be. Who knows what it'll be like? I mean, we're only 3 days into the new year. But, hope springs eternal and all that good stuff. Anyway, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are and what time it is that you're watching this and all that other good stuff. It's your boy, SaleenDriver. That's me. And I am here in 2024, having slept through the ringing in of the new year because it's not something I give a damn about. The Nature Boy is here. Libby's here, everyone's favorite Aussie. Nate DeGreat is here. Matt Dumont's here. Steve Pearson's here. Daniel Berry Sports Highlights is here. The usual suspects. Episode 166, folks, of Wednesday Afternoon Live with me, SaleenDriver. The show about nothing in particular. The longest running Wednesday afternoon live stream in all of YouTube that I know of. Albert Sancho, good afternoon to you too, sir. And Happy New Year to one and all. Some of you have started New Year's a little sooner than others. That would be Libby, who's 15 hours ahead of the rest of us. Down in Australia, where it's summertime. Summertime in December. Don't know how that feels. Yes, Georgia beat the ever-loving snot, tar, wee, shit, and life out of First Sex University. FSU lost by the largest margin in bowl history, not just the Orange Bowl, but the entire history of bowl games. 60 points is the largest margin of victory ever in bowl history. And FSU has the privilege, if you will, of being literally the worst team ever to take the field and get their little fake Indian brown bottoms spanked by the University of Georgia. I watched every second of that game, and while I have an intense dislike for the University of Georgia, I don't like the University of Georgia. I like nothing about them. But I hate Free Shoes University. Hate. A visceral dislike of Free Shoes. And I enjoyed every second of watching UGA take Florida State to the woodshed. And I don't give a shit about the whining and bitching and complaining about, we were on our fifth string and we had people opting out. They didn't opt out. They quit. They quit. They gave up on their university. They gave up on their scholarships. They walked away from their teammates, and they left them hanging out to dry because they were throwing a little temper tantrum because they barely beat an average Louisville team, while Alabama, despite the fact that they lost and they got knocked out of the playoffs, Alabama knocked off the number one team in the country, a 29 winning streak team, and earned an SEC title and jumped them because they knocked off the number one team instead of some, low rent, God only knows why they're in the ACC anyway, Louisville team. So pardon me if I don't shed a tear for Force Sex University, and they're whining and crying and bitching and moaning. They lost. I mean, well, they didn't lose. They won. They won the ACC. 13-0 season. Congratulations. Guess what? You didn't make it. Suck it up. Stop bitching. I noticed after the game ended, all those posts I saw on Facebook about Florida State dried up and blew away and disappeared. All my friends, all the people I went to high school with that went to Florida State, even my own cousin, not a peep, not a word. A couple of them poked their head out of the sand because I made a few posts and said, what are you going off about? Your team sucks. You finished 5-7. 5-7. You didn't make a bowl. You're on a 5-game losing streak. Blah blah blah. Yeah, but I'm not crying about it. I'm saying my team is not very good. It sucked this year. It was hard to watch, and we lost to Florida State. Yeah, all that. But we didn't go out and quit. Just saying. And now everybody except for Michigan and Washington are 0-0 and waiting for August. Everyone's on the same level playing field now. Everyone is 0 wins and 0 losses except for 2 teams. And come, was it the 8th? I'm thinking Michigan's going to win this game, although Washington didn't look bad. Washington didn't look bad. I think it'll be a good game. I hope it's a good game. Yes, we did beat Tennessee. That's true. Yeah, well, you are right, Nate. The semifinal, both games were very entertaining. Although, admittedly, I didn't see the end of the Washington game. I was just too tired. I went to bed at the end of the third quarter. I just said, "Fuck it, I'll find out who wins later." I don't have any skin in that game anyway, so it didn't matter to me. Well, what do you want, Libby? You say what? Excuse you? What? What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? It doesn't matter that all their starting players didn't play, Albert. Every team had injuries. They didn't make the playoffs. They were ranked 5th or 6th? Sorry. Play the game. Play the game. They didn't play the game. A big chunk of their team quit. And they walked out, a bunch of quitters, onto the field in Miami, or, near enough to Miami that it doesn't matter. And they got their asses handed to them by a better team. And even if all of those starters had been on the field, I still think Georgia would have beat them up because Georgia was a better team than Florida State. Florida State, in my opinion, was the worst 13-0 team to ever take the field. Yeah. Battle Angels here. Good to see you, my dear. Am I still banned? No, I am not banned. There was only a 24-hour banning of, and that was on YouTube. I said something that was considered bullying. Bullying. I don't even know which comment it was. I make so many comments on YouTube. I'm subscribed to almost 400 channels. I can't keep track of what I said that might be bullying. What might be bullying on one channel was not on another channel. So I don't give a fuck. Ain't gonna change my behavior. Look at my caption. It says, New Year's, same me. I ain't gonna change. You think I'm a bully? Oh, what's the matter, Snowflake? Oh, I bully you all the time? You're the one that keeps threatening to send me pornographic material and pornographic outfits all the time. That's not bullying? Stop it. Just stop. Grow up. Nate, is this what pisses me off the most? Why can't college football playoffs, semi, or playoffs in general be on weekends, not on the weekdays? I don't know. Probably because they conflict with the National Felons League, and the National Felons League is more powerful than college football. Goes to Rubber Nose. Good to see you, sir. Brad Pitt's here. Good to see you, Brad. Oh, by the way, I don't know if that person is somewhere that I can't see their comments or it will watch this later, but I wanted a special shout out to the one person consistently for the past few weeks that has been voting thumbs down on all my videos, especially my live streams. Hey, sorry, not sorry that you feel that way about me. That's, doesn't bother me. I sleep real good at night. And even bad attention is still attention. And the YouTube algorithm doesn't really care. But keep it up, with the thumbs down. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Not a problem. You ain't gonna bother me. But I just wanted to make a special thank you and shout out to that person. You know who you are. And nothing but love for you. Nothing but love. But you're never getting back on this channel again. Nope. Nope. Not gonna happen. I'm glad that amuses you, Libby. I live for nothing else in my life. I live for nothing else than to amuse Libby. My favorite Aussie. Anyway. So what did you all do for New Year's Eve? I'm sure all of you younger people were not like me and were lame and stayed home. I'm sure some of you out there went and did something fun. Tell us about it. Nate, most kind, most generous. Thank you for the $10 super chat. Who would win a race between Vic and BVD in a wheelchair? Vic. Well, I mean, Vic's chair is motorized. BVD, well, no, wait, BVD had a motorized chair. I think still Vic, because Vic's chair is built differently and has smaller wheels, less rolling resistance. I think its batteries are a little bigger. I think with bigger batteries, more torque, less rolling resistance. I think Vic, and obviously less weight. I think Vic weighs significantly less than BVD. Although I understand BVD has lost a lot of weight recently. Obviously, he's missing half of a leg, but he's also, I think his diet is different and so on. But I still think Vic weighs less and has a more powerful chair. So I think Vic would take BVD in a straight line race. I think at the Slob Olympics or this next softball game, I think we should set that race up. I mean, how long could it take to set it up? We just measure out, let's say, 100 yards. Or, put out in the parking lot and say, okay, race from this tree to that tree. And 1, 2, 3, go. Maybe do a best 2 out of 3. I don't know. I think that would be entertaining. I just hope that one of them doesn't wipe out. No, BVD. Well, I don't know that BVD can't walk. But didn't you know that BVD lost part of his leg? He had to have part of his leg amputated. I think he's learning to walk or relearning to walk. I mean, that's 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 a long process. Having gone through it myself after I broke my ankle and couldn't walk for 3 months, and then had to learn to walk again. It's not as easy as you think. BVD is a cyborg. No, probably not. No. I can see Vic playing a little bump and run. Libby, I think you might. I think you might be right. I think BVD Vic might do a little bump and run. I'm not saying that BVD wouldn't do a bump and run either, a little NASCAR style. Rubbing is racing. So I can see that race getting, fairly competitive. I think I'll talk to Lou and Pete about that and see if we can't set that up as like a little halftime Raj, a little halftime entertainment, Raj again. Oh. Well, Albert, as far as the 12-team playoff goes, I guess we'll see how college football lays that shit out. I still think they should have gone with a. I think they should have gone with a 6-team playoff. Well, there were 5 conferences at the time. Now that's all out the window. But I think each conference championship gets a spot in the playoffs, and the best of the group of 5 team, the highest ranked team, is the number 6 seed. And then you seed them 1 through 6, depending on where they're ranked in the last poll of the season. 3 through 6 play 1 game. The first 2 teams get a bye. And then the winner of those games play the 1 and 2 seed. And you got your championship. But, 12 teams makes more money. So I guess that's the way it is. We'll see how it plays out next year. I mean, let's face it, University of Florida isn't going to be in that mix. So I'm not going to sweat it too much. No, we're not going to. Obviously, you're not going to run the chairs in the sand. I mean, never mind the fact that both the chairs would sink. It would also destroy the motors, all that sand getting kicked up into the motors. No, you do it out in the parking lot of the hotel. Come on, Nate, think. God gave you a brain for a reason. I have my theories, Libby, but I'm going to keep that to myself. I just wanted to thank them because I know they're out there. And, that's all that matters. Yes, I know you're. Jesus Christ. I don't think of you as disabled, Nate, first of all. But yes, I know that you have a challenge, but you're not that challenged, sir. You still have the ability to function. So stop it. Libby, the fact that God gave you your brain, does that comfort me? No, frankly, it scares me, but Shipes, if you keep talking about my Mustang like that, I'm going to be displeased with you. And you're wrong, but that never stopped you before, did it? Am I calling all Big Ten fans disabled? Oh God, I gotta think about that. No, I'm not. I should, but I'm not. Anyway, there's the link to come into my yard. See, we get Libby in here with her with her laugh that makes everybody happy, and her craziness, which makes everybody happy. And Nate can come in and tell us how great Michigan is, because Nate is a Michigan fan, or at least a part-time fan. Oh, okay. Libby's going to take a shower first and hopefully put clothes on afterwards. And then she'll come in and annoy us all. I mean, entertain us all. Just saying. Meanwhile, let's see. I saw a few of you posted that you were asleep. Nate, Cam, thank you. Just making sure. A few of you were asleep before midnight, and but nobody said they did anything fun. I mean, I realize, all of you, I don't know what fun is, but
What's up, Saleen?
Oh, you must be happy, Nate. Your boys are in the finals.
Yay! Yeah.
And let me look up real quick. Hang on a minute. Pull up the score app here.
Yeah.
What is it? January 8th.
Mm-hmm.
And Michigan is favored in the game. The current line is 4.5.
That's
the
pretty
game
low
is at
too.
7:30 Eastern time, and it's on ESPN.
Okay, nice.
And in case anyone was wondering, the last time these two teams played was September 11, 2021. Michigan won 31-10. Both teams are undefeated.
Yep.
Let's see. Washington's coming in with a couple of injuries, but nothing major.
Michigan
I
lost
couldn't believe
their.
they're playing the game in Houston. I mean, why the fuck would you play the game in Houston?
I don't know. It's college football playoff. You gotta know that.
Why they're playing in Houston, I have no idea.
I don't know why. Why can't they play in Las Vegas or something like that?
Why don't they play? Oh, Raj, why don't they play in a traditional college football stadium?
Right.
Play in Atlanta, play in Jerry's World. Play in the Orange Bowl. Play in
how about Camping World Stadium? That'd be good.
Play out in Phoenix.
Yeah.
I remember when Florida played Ohio State in that game out there in Phoenix. That the stadium looked fantastic. The crowd was rocking. I mean, until Florida took control of that game and just strangled Ohio State to death. Can
you stand Ohio State fans or no?
Huh? Ohio State fans make me cringe. There was this one guy. I've actually seen video of this guy. He was famous for calling into WDAE in Tampa, the Sports Talk Radio 620. He was, I think it was Ohio State Billy or something like that was his nickname. I haven't heard from him in forever.
Right.
He used to love riding around on Northdale Mabry, which is the main drag that runs right next to Ray J, or what used to be the Sombrero, where the Bucks play, and where the Outback Bowl is played. It's not called the Outback Bowl anymore. And he used to love. He had a Mercedes convertible painted in basically Ohio State red.
Oh, I
run up and down the road, beeping his horn, playing the Ohio State fight song.
Oh my God.
And they showed video of this before the Florida game. And after the Florida Ohio game in 2006, he disappeared.
Probably. Yeah.
He did. People have been saying for years they've never seen that Mercedes running around Tampa again. They haven't heard a word from him again. And he just fucking disappeared. I mean,
I tried.
it's too bad. I really want to try and meet the guy and rub it in his face.
Most
Yeah, that Heisman Trophy quarterback of yours sure did look good being plastered by the Florida defense.
Yeah.
Back when we actually played defense.
I know most actually fan bases like from Power 5 teams. I know there's some good fans, like realistic fans and stuff, like friendly and stuff. While you're like, let's say tailgating and stuff before the game, and there's some fans that like hardcore, that are disrespectful and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I like the friendly ones more. I mean,
you know what I was surprised about?
What's up?
I mean, after Alabama lost, and Florida State fans and criminal nation should take note of this. And this is just my personal observation. I mean, I don't have the big reach like Lou or DVD or Big Dog Brett or any of those guys. I don't have the big college football reach that they do. But I honestly have not seen a lot of crying out of Alabama fans.
That's rare.
I mean, they're upset that their team lost, and I think the way they lost was kind of sad. I mean, fourth and goal from the 4-yard line, you're going to run a quarterback draw up the middle. That had to be one of the dumbest calls I've seen in a long time.
And I don't know if you watched King Guru Black, Lazy.
Who? What?
Just a minute.
I mean, I honestly haven't seen a lot of crying out of Alabama fans. I saw that video that Law Tide made. I thought that was a good one. And the one that Funny Mane, that comic goes by the name Funny Mane, the one he did, I thought that was funny. It was, self-deprecating and so on. But, in the end, he held his head up high and he said, we'll be back next year. And like I said at the beginning of my video, the stream, except for Michigan and Washington,
right?
Season's over for everybody. They're all 0 wins, 0 losses now, waiting for the end of August.
Well,
everybody is 0-0. It's a level playing field except for 2 teams. Well, and in less than a week, it's going to be, the season's over.
Off season. Yep.
Yep. And then we got a long off season, and then everyone starts the same again. So,
it
is what it is.
So, do you agree with Pete? I know he said about the off season stuff. Yeah, I know he hates off season, but because college football might have the most longest, I think, off season ever in sports. I think. Yeah. Do you agree with that? Like,
the college football off season is probably the longest off season of anybody. I mean, look at like NASCAR, for example. I mean, their off season is barely 3 months.
Yeah.
I mean,
baseball.
We're about a month away from the opening race, the Daytona 500, and even before that, you have the Clash and the All-Star, Busch Clash, and then you have the Twin 125s. So, auto racing is a fairly short off season. Hockey's off season is fairly short. I mean, maybe 3-4 months. Basketball is probably about the same. Baseball is fairly long off season.
I thought it was short because it goes, obviously it goes like long, basically the longest season ever, regular season, and then goes maybe 2 months off. I think it's the shortest.
I think baseball season is way too long. I think they
Yeah,
should cut the season by about 25%.
I think. Yeah,
Nobody would fucking notice. I mean,
I agree. I agree. Maybe 98 games or 86, which is fine. I think. I mean, I wouldn't mind that. Um, would be 86 be ideal? I think so.
you know, hockey season is about 80 games, 82
Right.
games, I think.
Yeah.
Basketball is about the same.
Yeah. Nobody
I
watching.
think baseball could get away with probably about. Wait a minute, baseball is what 160 odd
No,
games.
I thought it was like 106. I think they took it a little bit down, but who knows?
I think. Well, I think if you knock 25% of the games out of baseball, it brings you out down to about 121, 122 games. I think that's about right. But
Yeah.
what do I know?
I know. I know you being you allowed to talk about hockey. I know, but no one gives a shit about hockey. Eventually, it's especially the South. But
No, well, I mean, hockey's pretty big around here because of the Lightning.
yeah, well, and Panthers too, kind of.
Me, I've been taking advantage of the fact that I have two computer screens,
Right.
and I can do computing and stuff on one screen, and I can have the Bruins
Well,
games up on the other screen. And
yeah.
because ESPN Plus is part of Hulu,
Yep.
yeah, I've been enjoying watching Bruins games.
Hey. Yeah. I went to.
Nobody's commenting in the chat section. I guess everyone fell asleep.
Thought we were talking about we were talking about hockey. Wow. Okay.
I don't give a damn. It's my stream.
Yeah, it's your stream. I agree. Yeah. Did you know? Did you know? I don't know if you know, but I never had a PC before, which is a computer. I never had a laptop before. I did before, but it's only for school related. But that's about it. But I never tried or owned a PC before or whatever. I just wanted to be able to stream and do like YouTube, like you guys, like Pete, you, Uncle Lou. I know it takes a while. I mean, a long time too, but still, I can't do it just on my phone. Well, I can, but still. I don't know.
Well, you should have. You don't have a computer for school?
No, I'm done with school. Well, for now, but I had like a high school laptop for school, but I didn't take it home. Well, actually, I did, but just for homework and stuff, and gave back to the teachers' lounge and wherever.
Well, maybe we ought to talk to Lou about starting a GoFundMe for you to get some funding together and get you a computer.
Yeah, I mean, I know he picks on me, and not that I think
Well,
picking on me.
if he picks on you, then he owes
No,
you.
no. I was gonna say he picked me up, because because I live, Nebraska. That's what I was trying to say. But yeah, he's not gonna drive all the way here if he wanted to. But whatever. And my point is, I wouldn't mind that idea actually.
I
But
think my ex-wife was in your area of the country over the Christmas holiday time period.
Omaha.
Because her current live-in boyfriend, whatever the fuck he is, his family lives up in Iowa.
Oh, that's not bad. It's not far actually. It depends what city or town. I mean,
I don't know where. I think somewhere in the Des Moines area or something like
yeah, it's
that.
not that far from me. Yeah.
I don't pay much attention to what's going on in her
Oh,
life as long.
I
The
know.
only thing I care about with respect to her life is she leaves me the fuck alone.
Right. I know. Yeah, actually, speaking of Iowa, do you miss JW? I don't know if you.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, man,
Uh,
his
I,
story.
I miss J Dub.
Yeah,
I liked J Dub. I respected J Dub. I thought
yeah,
he had, you know, he had plenty to say, and I liked the way he said it.
yeah,
And I miss that. I miss the boy.
and especially Ames, Iowa, saying Ames, Iowa.
There's a YouTuber.
Yeah,
Um, well, two of them actually, husband and wife. They have two YouTube channels. They're based out of Ames. Uh,
nice.
Junkyard Digs and Junkyard Book.
Yeah,
It's car channel.
that's cool.
Their thing is to go find old abandoned cars, boats, RVs, what have you, and
Yeah,
bring them back to life.
yeah, and
Hang on,
what?
man. Hang on, man. Hang on. I gotta do this. Fuck you. Welcome, sir. Oh, good to see you, man. Happy New Year.
Ames, Iowa. Syracuse.
I am a ray of fucking sunshine. Don't you guys fucking forget it.
Pete,
I am the highlight of everyone's Wednesday. Admit it.
you are actually.
Big
Yeah.
Tube is here. Good afternoon, sir. We were just talking about you, sir.
Oh yeah.
Yes, we were.
Actually,
Yes, we were. Hopefully,
Vic,
Vic will come on the stream.
Vic, while you're trying to get on the stream, before you could do, would you pick yourself to beat BVD in a race with a wheelchair race? I think he will. But anyways.
Yeah, he probably will. But we'll let him come. We'll let him come on the stream. See what he has to say.
But yeah, I was gonna say JW. I miss him a lot, like you said, and he is fun. I wish I met him. He offered to go to the college World Series to meet me. Wow, damn.
I think he would.
But yeah, yeah. I should met J-Dub before he passed. I should have met him. But anyways, you asked earlier. You asked us what you do over the holidays or New Year.
Yeah, just curious.
Actually, I went to my second actual NHL game ever.
Well, yeah, that's right. You went up to Detroit, didn't you?
No, Minnesota.
Minnesota. Ah, yes, you went to Minnesota, eh? No,
Yeah.
but they were playing Detroit.
Yeah, I don't know.
Who won?
I don't want to talk about it. It was Minnesota freaking crushed them 6-3.
Did you go up there in a Detroit jersey?
Yes, I did. I mean, both of us. Most of my family did. Yeah. Man.
But did you have fun?
Overall, the experience was amazing. The fans were friendly, which counts.
Yeah. You get some good food?
I did before the game, yeah. But shit, that nosebleed section is so effing steep. The XL Center, oof.
I remember I've been to Minnesota multiple times, mostly when I worked for IBM, but there was another time where I had a layover going from the People's Republic of California back home to Florida. The one thing I will always remember about Minnesota is when you walked into a restaurant and you ordered food, they buried you in food. I mean,
yeah.
and at the time I was a pretty big eater. The amount of food they put in front of you is incredible.
Yeah.
It's just insane. I mean, and I understand why, because most of the time I was in Minnesota, I was during the winter, and it was very, very cold. I mean, even for me, it was suffering.
Yeah.
And I suffer when it gets to the 50s. But you know, the amount of food, I guess the amount of food they give you is proportional to the amount of calories you need to burn to stay alive.
Yeah. Man, they're built different up there.
Well, they are. Midwesterners are definitely built different than Floridians. That's for damn sure.
I don't know about Southerns, but still, yeah.
And nowadays, I couldn't eat. I couldn't eat a quarter of that. I mean,
Yeah.
with the new medication I'm on, and what that's done, how that's changed my metabolism around.
Right.
I don't eat nearly as much as I used to.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably a good thing. That's probably a good thing too, because I needed to make some changes, and the drugs, the drugs forced the change. But hey, I'm down 30 pounds.
Yeah, I lost weight too. To be honest, I used to be like 275, which is, I don't know, good for my height. But anyways, I lost like 10 pounds like 2 weeks ago, and then I think I lost like 10 pounds again this week. So probably 255, I think.
255?
Yeah, I'm
well,
on
you're what? You're what? 6'4"?
6'5" ish. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can carry that weight a little better.
Yeah,
if I weigh 255, if I weigh 255 at my height, I would look like a football.
Yeah.
But now I'm down to 175, 176. I haven't been that low in weight since college, really.
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
Is college fun? Because I never experienced it.
I had fun at UF. I did. There was always and Gainesville back in the 80s and early 90s when I was there, it was a lot smaller than it is now.
Yeah.
Gainesville really took off in terms of development and growth and stuff. But there was always something going on on campus. There was always sports. I almost never missed a football game.
Right. And also, I mean, I'm hoping to go to college because I've never been to college before. After
Shut up, Libby.
Yeah. After I graduated high school, I never went to college. And I went instead of college, I went to a young adult program for disabled kids like me, for me to train myself to to train me to what life is actually about.
Well, a lot of colleges are seeing lower enrollments now because college is just is horrifically expensive.
Oh, okay.
A lot of kids are opting out of going to college. They go to a trade school, and they're earning a hell of a lot more coming out of college, learning a trade in things that the stuff that you need for every day for life to go on. I mean, HVAC, plumbing, auto mechanic. The schooling for that is relatively inexpensive. You can pay off your student debt very quickly, and you've got a trade that's going to earn you high 5 figures, low 6 figures fairly quickly. You may not like the hours sometimes, but they are skills that are in great need. I mean, how often are a lot of companies looking for, somebody who's really good at welding or a really, really talented diesel mechanic?
Oh,
Just because everyone's saying electric cars are the future, which they are not,
yeah.
doesn't mean that, the requirements for gasoline and diesel mechanics are going to go away in 2030.
Yeah. I mean,
And like I said, college is expensive. I just wrote it. I just paid my daughter is starting up on Monday the 8th. She's starting her master's program, and I just paid her first semester's tuition, and that hurt. I ain't gonna lie. That was a hard payment to make, but
yeah.
it's necessary.
Gotcha. I mean, I only have one brother, so my little brother, he's in college, or university in general. He loves it. I mean, he's focused. He used to play hockey too when he was little, until he wanted to take a break because of classes wise, or grade wise, and he's planning to play again, but my point is, I want to go to university that is like right for me, and also not that far away from home where I'm at, like what I call local states like Missouri, Kansas, Iowa, or whatever, which is right.
Well, let me ask you a question, Nate.
Yeah.
You live in Nebraska right now, right?
Right, Omaha.
Okay, Omaha. Now, I don't know how. I would say I don't know how colleges operate in Omaha, Nebraska, but I'll give you an example. In Florida, it used to be called, way back when, they called it the Gordon Rule because it's named after the representative that introduced the requirements into the legislature.
Mm-hmm.
It's a set of basic requirements that all college students going to state universities in Florida have to meet a certain number of credit hours in math and English and sciences, and so on and so on. What I did with now, I didn't do it with my older daughter because of a special requirement that she needed in the degree field she wanted to pursue. But with my younger daughter, I ended up sending her to a 2-year community college at a hell of a lot less money to get her associate's degree, because all the requirements were basically the same across the entire state system.
Mm-hmm.
And she got her 2-year degree from a place in Gainesville called Santa Fe Community College.
Yeah.
And the only reason she went to Gainesville to Santa Fe was she wanted to live with her sister.
Right.
And Libby, that picture is grossly disturbing.
I was like, what the hell is that?
I wish you would. I really wish you would change it.
That's
Anyway, let me finish. So if I had my way, I would have sent her to a 2-year college here where I live, and she would have lived here at home, and would have saved a hell of a lot of money off of rent and food and all that. And the 2-year degree and the 2-year requirement would have been a hell of a lot cheaper than going to a 4-year university where the first 2 years are basically spent doing, the work that everyone has to do before they get into their degree.
Right.
So I would say, if you're thinking of doing that university thing, I would check into what is required out of the state university system in Nebraska and see if you can get away with going to a 2-year college for to get your associate's degree, and do it as cheap as possible, because the next 2 years, when you get into your specialty, that's where the money really gets spent.
Gotcha.
Okay, I'm done.
What
the hell is that? Is that like a goat boy or something?
That's TC. You know TC. You've met him.
I know TC. What is he wearing? A skirt?
Looks like a mermaid.
Someone found this picture, and then someone else photoshopped his head onto it.
It looks like a guy wearing a rainbow skirt with a diaper.
Yep, that's exactly what it is.
Would you? What is wrong with you?
What do you mean?
It's really hard to look at. Jesus.
How is that not funny? Do you not see that as
It's
funny?
funny, but it's a little disturbing too. I mean,
Well,
Yeah, that's the whole point.
well,
Yeah.
actually,
Here comes one half of the drag race. VicTube.
Yeah, what's up? What's up, Dick?
Happy New Year's.
Libby. Yeah, Happy New Year. Yeah.
Happy New
So,
Year.
Vic, we were talking earlier about Raj. We were talking earlier about a wheelchair drag race between you and BVD.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm of the opinion that since your chair is a little bit more torquey and you weigh less than BVD by I don't know how many pounds, I would postulate that you would win that.
Uh-huh.
But what I think needs to happen is at the Slob Olympics,
Mm-hmm.
we all head out into the parking lot, since obviously you can't do it on the beach.
Mm-hmm.
Head out into the parking lot, set up a drag race. Measure out 100 feet or 200 feet or whatever, and have you two run a race. Let's sell this once and for all.
Yeah, I mean, Big D tried to do it, or try to convince Vic to do it at the park or the ballpark. I heard.
Yeah. And we got if we're gonna do it, we got to have some run. We got to have some rubbing. We got to have banging wheels and
Oh, gosh.
Mad Max shit.
because rubbing's racing.
Pit maneuvers.
Yeah, pit. Yeah, we got to have a pit maneuver or something.
Now, here's my question.
Actually, I think Vic's chair is a little bit more vulnerable to a pit maneuver than BVD's because BVD's chair is a little bit shorter and more compact.
That's all right. He can reinforce it.
I mean,
what do you think, Vic? Does that need to happen?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think we need a BVD versus VicTube production.
Okay. Well, maybe not. Well, maybe not the pit maneuvers, but. Yeah.
All right, we'll do the pit maneuvers, but
just a little bumps.
I think we're going to talk to Lou and Pete and set up a drag race.
Yeah. I mean,
if Battle Angel's still in the comment, is still on the chat or whatever. What do you think, Battle Angel? You think Lou would be open to that suggestion?
I think he will.
I mean, it is after all his show, really. So,
Yeah. I mean, I think the Lunch Money show is no. I think it's next Monday after the Monday after. Oh no, it's probably in 2 weeks.
They're probably not doing a Lunch Money on Monday because that's the national championship.
No, I meant the
oh yeah, I gotta mention something.
Okay.
And I'll put a post of this up in my community tab as well. But starting on the 8th, I'm having my master bathroom redone. It's going to be gutted completely and redone.
Mm-hmm.
So there's going to be a lot of worker activity. Shut up. There's going to be a lot of worker activity in my house. There's going to be a lot of noise.
Okay.
So at least on the 10th, unless there's nobody in the house, and I won't know that until next week, but possibly on the 10th and the 17th, there will not be a stream because there'll be workers, there'll be noise, there'll be construction.
I think we don't mind.
Involved in on the stream?
We don't mind a little noise.
Yeah.
I'll find out what's going on, but
mind a little noise.
Dick, if you want to take the stream on a day that I can't, I'll give you some heads up if you want to do it.
Yeah.
But right now, I don't know which days people are going to. I mean, there's I know on 8th it's going to be really bad, but that doesn't matter to you guys. But there's going to be a lot of tearing out of furnishings and tile and floor tile, and the shower bath has got to come out, the toilet's coming out, the vanity's coming out, the walls, literally the walls are coming off the studs. Everything is
Fun part.
they're going down to the studs.
So what are you gonna do?
I got a bathroom upstairs.
Who called?
You're gonna be bitching that you got to go upstairs to piss.
Well, no, I can piss in this downstairs half bath, but the
Wow.
upstairs, the upstairs would be where I poop and shower. Hopefully not.
Celine clogged the toilet because he had to redo it. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
It's not going to be a lot of fun, but the bathroom is very old, and you know, this needs to be redone. And when it's done, it's going to look fantastic. I picked out some really good furnishings and tile. And,
is it going to be pink?
No.
Oh.
Pink. Yeah, my grandparents' bathroom was pink. So yeah, they
No way.
toilet.
No, this home is owned by a man, so pink, no.
And then they also had
I didn't realize you wrote that on.
Right, and then they also had a powder room where the toilet and sink were blue. So yeah.
Oh.
No, I'm doing very basic colors.
Yes, that was, and then it made the toilet. I mean the water when you eat in it. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. But yeah, I do at some point in my life. I said this before, but in my life, at some point in my life, I want to move out and live on my own. So I don't know. I try to look up like tips. Which is the cheapest to live by yourself? Like build your own house or hire a contractor. I don't know. I mean, I do want to do some.
Just remember, Nate, living in a city is usually more expensive than living, outside the city. So
right is like, let's just say, for example, if I were like living in the suburbs, is that still in the city?
Yeah, not necessarily, but then you got to weigh up like commuting to work. See.
And also, you got to remember that almost all cities are there's almost always a housing. Shitholes too. But Omaha isn't as much of a shithole as, say, San Francisco.
Ouch.
But remember, Nate. I mean, there's always going to be more demand for housing than there is housing, especially in a depressed economy like we are in now.
Right.
Also, there's more than just rent you have to pay. You have to pay for electricity, water, depending on if your apartment uses gas or not. Internet, cable, whatever. You got to pay for that. Because you'll be renting, you won't have to pay for maintenance. That'll be the building's responsibility.
Oh, okay.
But also, you got to remember, you got to furnish the place too, unless you rent a furnished apartment.
Right.
So,
when I first started out, I remember I went to the charity shop and just got secondhand furniture until I was able to save up money to get brand new stuff.
Yeah. I told both my girls when they started looking for their own place to live, I said, look,
on your own.
No, I never said that. I always told my girls that I'd always have their back. But try and do it on your own as much as you can.
Yeah.
Just because they need to learn to do it on their own as much as they can, because I ain't going to be here forever.
That's what my mom said. You gotta learn before you live on your own. Basically, what like you said. So,
but I always told them, I said, whatever they're going to charge you for rent, if they, let's say your rent is $1,000 a month, which in this area would be a miracle. But let's say it's $1,000 a month, I would add 50% to that to cover all the other stuff, you know, the utilities, and maybe even add a little more than that, because don't forget, you got to feed yourself too.
yeah, that's true.
So if your rent's $1,000 a month, I would count on having to bank on spending between $1,500 and $2,000 a month to you know, for all the overall expenses.
Mm.
And then of course you want to try and put some money away for the future
If you can.
Like
you can.
in my savings account. Or,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just in case, because you never know when something fucking comes up.
Or fucked, yeah.
Oh, yeah, you'd have to wear pants.
Oh, Jay, come on.
What is your deal with streaming while only wearing a t-shirt? Busted.
But anyways, yeah. I just want.
Go sit in the corner, Jay.
I just want. I always like tips for you, Celine, and whoever is willing to give me tips, because I've been living with my parents ever since I was born. So I mean,
Yeah.
I want eventually to live on my own, but still.
You'll get there. There's heaps of resources online too that you can look up that have like different ideas on how to, you know, budget and.
That's my primary key, budgeting. I'm not a really good spender.
Well, you're going to have to learn to be, because one part of living on your own is being able to live within your means.
And not ever having any fucking money to yourself to do anything that you want, really.
Yeah. And not learning not to live on credit cards, because that's a good way to end up that's a really, really good way to end up face down and
broke?
buried. Yeah, face down broke.
Okay.
There are a lot of people out there who have lived on credit cards for a long time, and they don't pay attention to the fact that most credit cards have an interest rate of somewhere between 18 and 30%.
Why can't they just use debit cards, for example?
Because they have to have money in an account that they can debit against.
Because I $1,000 in credit. When they call, I tell them I can't pay it back yet.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that was from Family Guy, but yeah.
And sometimes people have like a champagne lifestyle on a beer budget.
Yeah,
exactly. Perfectly stated. Perfectly stated.
Yeah.
You know, they have champagne.
That's the first time you've ever said that to me.
Well, even a broken clock is right twice a day.
Eat me.
Were you?
And no, my father told me to try and avoid junk food.
Wow.
Anyway.
Oh my junk.
Oh my God.
Libby, relax.
It's protein, buddy. Isn't it animal protein?
What the hell?
The woman needs help. I'm telling you. Anyway,
Jam people.
I mean, you got to remember, Nate, that if you're using credit card, let's say you spend $100 a month in a month, and if you don't pay that $100 balance off, well, okay, let's say you spent $200.
Yeah.
But you only paid $100 back on your credit card bill. You still have a $100 debt to the credit card company. The next month, depending on the interest rate of the credit card, that $100 could turn into $125 immediately because you have a 25% interest rate on the credit card debt. And that's how people spiral out of control real fast, because let's say they spend another $100 on the credit card. Now, instead of owing $200 in month 2, they owe $225, and they can only pay $100 back. And now they now owe, I don't know what 125 plus 25% is, but somewhere near $140 or $150 in debt. And it just
debt
keeps.
collectors have no mercy.
Yeah, and eventually the credit card, either they start calling you on their own, or if you ignore them long enough, they turn the debt over to a collecting agency. And those people not only have no mercy on the phone, they'll show up at your door.
And
take some of your the great, you're late. And then they will bury you, because then they start going and they start killing your credit rating, and all of a sudden you can't get another credit card, you can't get a loan to buy a car, you can't get a loan to buy a house, you can't get a loan, period. And then that kind of bad credit rating stays with you for like 7 years.
Yeah. It does stop after 7 years, but that 7 years sucks ass.
So you're saying I shouldn't have a credit card, or is that not really?
Thank you, Jerry. Here's what P digits. Good to see you.
Not necessarily. Like, I know people that have credit cards, but they'll only have it for like emergencies.
Yeah. Now, what I did with both my daughters is I encourage them to get a credit card. I won't explain their financial situation in detail, but I had them get a credit card that acted like a credit card, meaning you use it, you get a bill every month, you pay it, life goes on. I said, I want you to get a regular credit card, Visa, MasterCard, whatever. Every month you buy something, buy a shirt, buy groceries, buy some gasoline, whatever. Keep it to $50 a month, no more. When you get the bill at the end of the month, pay it off completely.
Okay.
That does a very, very important thing, because remember, people your age, you're what, 24, 25, 26, somewhere in there?
22. Yeah, still.
Okay. You don't have a credit rating.
No.
Or if you do have a credit rating, it sucks. It's like 400, 500, 600 points.
Yeah.
You need to build a credit history early in life and make it a good, positive credit history, meaning the credit agencies like, I forgot the name of them now, Experian and Transamerica and whatever. They see you have a credit card and they see you paying it off.
Right? Yeah.
Credit companies, yeah. There are 3 big ones. I know Experian is one of them.
Credit Karma.
Experian, Credit Karma.
No, Credit Karma is just a reporting agency.
Oh, okay. Rocky.
Anyway, the point is, you need to build a credit history before you can buy a house, buy a car, hell, even rent a car or rent an apartment or something. You need a credit history.
Okay.
If you're buying on credit and then you're paying that card off, you're building a credit history. And and this is what I did when I was 18, 19 years old. I got a credit card. It was co-signed by my parents. I bought a shirt. I bought, back then you couldn't buy groceries or anything like that with a credit card. That didn't work that way back then. But I bought stuff, and then I paid the card off at the end of the month. And by the end of about a year, I had a credit history, and I had a good, solid credit rating. And then I could move on with my life to try and get an apartment, to try and get a car, whatever I needed to do that needed an actual credit rating. So that's what I did for my daughters. And that's what I think, if you're seriously going to do that kind of thing and get out there on your own, you need to build a credit history first.
Gotcha. Well, currently right now I have a debit card. That's probably it. But still.
And what Libby said made sense. You know, some people have credit cards, but they don't use them except when they absolutely have to, like an emergency. You know, like you're on a road trip and your car, you know, pukes a battery or tosses a belt and you need to get it fixed. You don't have the cash. That's when you use the credit card. Then you put it away and don't use it again.
Okay. Now, for debit card, you just use it if, like, a credit. Well, I don't say like credit card, but like.
Yeah, actually, Shipes actually said something that made sense for once. Yeah, one of my first credit cards was a gas. It was actually an Amoco card, ironically, and you know I bought gas with it. I didn't buy cigarettes with it because I didn't smoke, but I bought gas with it, and at the end of the month I paid it off. You know, by the time I was in my 23, 24, 25 range, I had a credit score of about 725. And that was more than solid enough that when I wanted to get an apartment, when I moved to Atlanta and I wanted to get an apartment, I had no problem because I had a solid, clean credit history. And with only one or two hiccups since, which is basically boiled down to I was actually traveling at the first of the month and I paid my rent late a couple of times. I've never had a credit problem.
Yeah.
Gee, Jay Shipe said something, you know, practical. Good on you, Jay. Good job.
But yeah,
proud of you, sir. Proud of you.
But yeah, maybe first, even if because me and my friends are close friends. Me and my close friends are all of them are boys, but we were thinking get like a house together, like not sleep together, obviously, but just like different each other's rooms, like different rooms and whatever. We're trying. This is down like 5 years or whatever, but still.
Hey, Nate, what you and your boys do in the privacy of your own home, you know, that's up to you guys. I mean, there's no shame here.
No,
but yeah, having roommates would be helpful. Even if it was just you and one other person as a roommate to split the expenses. I mean, you know.
You can move in with Saleen. He can be your housemate.
No.
Just be mindful he doesn't wear pants.
No. No. But yeah, we're just looking at some, houses for rent in the Omaha area where that is close to one of our works, obviously, or work in general, but it's still or our range or target range that for price either our maximum is probably like 300. I don't know, 30. I don't know what it's called. $3,000 to the minimum is probably like 1,000. So probably, I've seen like 1,000 per month house. I've seen 1,500. I mean, still.
For what, an apartment or a house?
House.
See, if you move into a house, and let's say you and a couple of the guys move into a 3-bedroom house or something like that.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. The only problem is you got to talk to the landlord because, who's going to be responsible for maintaining, say, the lawn, and the landscaping, is he going to do that or, is he going to make you guys do that? That's the point of negotiation. You say, well, sir and or madam, you're going to charge us $2,000 a month.
Your Highness.
And our
What?
our
Oh,
thing
yeah,
is
just
our thing. We're gonna split the bill. Like we already picked who's gonna do what. Like
Yeah, but if the landlord's going to make you do labor to his
oh
property, then to me that's a point of negotiation on okay, we'll pay $2,000 a month between the three of us for rent, but if you're going to make us do yard work, maybe we want to negotiate that down a couple of $100
okay.
because now the sweat of our brow is worth something,
Now
sir and or madam.
my other question is: does that owner still live in the house when that?
Generally, no.
No.
Generally, in that situation, they own property. They live somewhere else. They're
Oh,
renting the
okay.
property. They're probably not living in it.
Oh,
Now, up
okay.
in the Northeast, that's a different story.
Oh,
Generally, there'll be like this 3-story um, house, and they'll set up apartments on the first 2 level on the upper 2 levels, and the owner of the property will live on the first floor, and they'll
yeah,
rent the second and third floors out.
yeah. Now,
That's kind of to me that's kind of strange, but
so I know you've been living by yourself for forever now, but still, in your some part of your life, didn't like you like pay rent or or like because like I
oh
said,
yeah,
so currently, not currently, so basically, if you pay rent, like if you, for example, if you want, like if I wanted to, if they don't have the good enough Wi-Fi or whatever that supports the house, you have to pay them to do that, or to pay them to what's the word?
yeah. I think I get what you're saying. If you rent if you rent from someone,
Yeah.
whether it's an apartment in a complex or whether it's a house from somebody else, if there are problems with the physical plant, is what it's called.
Yeah.
If the heat isn't working good enough, or if the Wi-Fi is weak, or it's glitchy,
Mhm.
that's not your problem per se. That's the owner's problem. Now,
Mhm.
it may be that it depends on, well, first of all, in the case of Wi-Fi, it depends on who's paying the Wi-Fi bill. Are you paying it, or is he paying it and you're using it? If he's paying for the service, then, and if the service is got a problem, then he has to call in the problem. If you're paying for the service, then it's your problem.
Right.
Let's say you're living in a house or an apartment and the heat goes out.
Yeah.
Well, that's the owner's problem, not yours.
So
If
if
the
that
physical furnace or the physical AC is damaged or doesn't work, that's the owner of the property's problem. What
so
happened, Vic?
Oh, yeah, my phone died.
oh,
Oh,
okay.
sorry about that. Yeah, but that's the owner of the property's problem, not yours. But and it
Now
has been a while since I lived in an apartment. It 2009 to be exact is the last time I lived in an apartment, and that was my post-divorce apartment. Personally, I would have preferred to keep my house and kick her out, but that's not the way it works, unfortunately. When you live in a fucked up system where family courts favor the mother 100% of the time, you take what you get.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And that's what happened. Took what I could get.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
But no, in 2009, I moved into this place and have been here ever since.
Nice.
I like it here fine. And yes, I live by myself, and no, I'm not ever having a roommate again.
Or girlfriend? I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
No.
Girlfriend, I'm undateable, Nate.
No.
All
Yeah.
right?
Hey, you know that.
There's no reality that I can think of where I can get a girlfriend. So
Yeah, you know
no,
that.
no girlfriend.
Well, I haven't had a girlfriend ever, or since. Or not since. I haven't had a girlfriend never.
I don't even want to get into that subject.
Yeah.
That to me is a useless endeavor.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I know
Come
some.
on, Libby, I left the door wide open for you on that one. You're not going to walk in.
I was just letting you be mopey.
Yeah. Yeah, you're
I
being.
was waiting for you to
I
walk
was
through
just
that
enjoying
door
you.
and go bonkers.
I was just enjoying you being miserable as per usual.
That's not being miserable. That's being truthful. There's a
Miserable.
difference.
No,
By
miserable.
the way, speaking of that, how's Scott doing?
Why is he miserable?
I didn't say it was miserable. It's your boyfriend. We were talking about girlfriend. It transitions in my head to boyfriend. How's my friend Scott doing?
Yeah, he's all right.
You leave for
I got
work
him
already?
Yeah, he's gone. He left at he usually leaves at not long after 6 in the morning.
No.
And he's out until 3 or 4. Just depends.
Yeah. All right. You guys have a good New Year's? Well, you said you were asleep
I
by
was
9.
in bed by 9 o'clock. I was tired, man.
I didn't go to bed till 11, so I almost made it.
Yeah, I did.
Why am I not
Yeah, I made it. I made it. Yeah, no.
I was actually thinking of staying up just long enough to see one of my perpetual calendar watches flip over to 2024, but I said, well, that's kind of sad even for me, so I didn't do it.
Should have made that a stream. People would have been ripping on you so hard.
Like I give a shit. Why isn't Libby smiling in her avatar? I don't think that's Libby. I don't know who that is, but that's not what Libby looks like. Is that TC again?
No, fuck no. That's that Joey the Gums.
Joey who?
Joey the Gums.
Okay, I don't know who that is.
Is that like an Australian YouTuber? Or?
No, fuck no. He's a lols cow that TC picks on, and it's great.
It looks like.
Okay. Now I remember. Now I recognize that name.
It looks like.
$100 payable by October.
Sanchez is here.
I better go. I gotta go. Bye.
See ya. Happy New Year.
I think we scared her off.
No, Libby wouldn't be scared of a great white shark.
I would.
Sanchez is here. First message of the new year is talking about pants. Between Sanchez and Shipes about wearing pants. That's kind of a sick and sad and quite frankly disturbing obsession these two have about what I'm wearing.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yes, it is. It's very weird. Yes.
It's very weird and quite frankly, it's bordering on a kink at this point. But I've always said that we don't do kink shaming in my channel, so I gotta let it go. I mean, I've never met Sanchez, so I don't know exactly how old he is or anything, but I know that Shipes is, an older man, grown up and so on.
Older than me.
So it really worries me that a grown man like at Shipes' age is obsessed about whether another person is wearing pants or not. So
yeah, I'm not gonna say the word, but sounds. I was gonna say weird, but not weird, but the G word.
I just don't. I just don't understand, Jay. I guess I never will, but that's okay. That's okay. We'll let Jay be Jay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like you guys have let me be me.
Well, there's nothing wrong with you, Nate.
Well, if it comes to women, maybe.
Yeah, women are overrated.
Yeah.
Well, what about the other genders? I'm just kidding. I'm not getting into that.
There's only two genders, so
I know.
let's keep that straight here. So
Yes. I agree too.
yes, there's only two,
Right.
despite what other crazy people say.
Yeah.
Two. So there's two. There's one or the other, or both or neither. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although some people claim to be neither. Some people claim to be both. So
Yeah, well, I remember there was a great time in this world where we used to treat the mentally ill.
non-binary. You can be either
Now we just
non-binary or you can be gender fluid. Yeah.
there's no such thing. So Vic, who you got in the championship game?
Do I have in the champion?
Nate, what are you doing?
Yeah, I guess.
It's not me.
Yeah, I guess it's probably gonna be Michigan. I guess.
Shut up, Rick.
Or maybe Washington. I don't know.
Well, I just looked it up. Michigan's the line is 4.5. Michigan is 4.5. So
I do think that that Washington has the better
offense.
though. But I think they have the better quarterback though. Michigan has the.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think they have the better lines of scrimmage. So I mean, yeah.
Wait,
I don't know if the college football world is ready for a Pac-12 national champion.
And the better and the better running game. But I do think that Washington's the better quarterback, receivers.
Oh, you're saying that Washington has a better receivers and quarterback, but you said that Michigan has a better lines of scrimmage
and a better defense. Yeah.
and running back, I think too.
Yeah, that too.
So the Washington quarterback's got to go up against the Michigan defense.
And
Michael Penn.
Yeah, not only that, he used to play for Indiana, so he knows Michigan.
Yeah, that's true.
Rick says there are 3 genders: male, female, and SaleenDriver.
Yeah.
That's actually funny, to be honest. Nothing against you, Saleen, but that's kind of funny.
I expect no less out of Rick.
Yeah.
That's why we like having Rick being around.
Yeah. Does Rick have a grandson, Morty?
Yeah.
I think he does.
Rick and Morty.
I think Rick used to be a cartoon.
But he is.
It looks like he... Is that Dabo in his profile picture? I don't know if that is.
I don't know.
But yeah, so
I don't watch cartoons much anymore.
Yeah. I know. Who you got for the? I know it's probably way too early, but who you got in the playoffs so far that you seen from the NHL?
NHL.
Well,
obviously Bruins, but still.
Yeah, but the Bruins fairly recently they were looking a bit shaky, but they seem to have righted the ship a bit. So, I think the Bruins, obviously, the Bruins are making the playoffs, but how far they go, it sort of depends on if the young guys keep up with the goal production like they've been in the past couple of weeks. Goaltending's not an issue with Boston, and championship team is built on goaltending.
Yeah.
Teams like Vegas and Tampa
Oof.
have proven that. I mean,
Um,
you gotta have a good. You have to have at least a good one goaltender. Boston has two very very good goaltenders. Both of them could be number ones on any team.
Is one of them Swayman and Olmark?
Swayman and Olmark are and they're like 1A and 1B. So I mean, it's like both of them have excellent goals against average, and both of them are good enough to string together multiple periods of no scoring against them.
Yeah.
I don't know who if I had to trade one of them and keep one, I don't know which one I would pick really.
Florida? They're doing decent.
Panthers look okay this year.
Yeah. I mean
the Lightning look better now that Vasilevsky is off of injury.
Yeah.
Vegas has looked pretty good. Well, they are the defending Cup champions, so
yeah. And plus, Red Wings fell off because they were doing good early in the season, but now just fell off. Yeah. And I think they're now like 17-16 overall.
Well, right now in the conference, the top 8 teams in the East are Boston, the Rangers, Panthers, Hurricanes, Islanders, Maple Leafs, Flyers, and Capitals. Lightning are the 9th team. They're about 1 point out. Devils and Penguins and Red Wings are 2 points out of the playoffs.
Again.
The Montreal Canadiens are looking shitty as usual. And Buffalo, Columbus, and Ottawa are hopeless.
Yeah. If you look at the West, oh my God. San Jose, what happened to you?
Yeah, San Jose looks like they should just fold up the franchise and disappear.
I know.
Blackhawks have been so irrelevant the past 3 or 4 years that I almost forgot they exist.
Yeah.
Anaheim is hopeless.
I don't even know. I didn't even know they existed. But who are the Blackhawks?
Your eye on is Seattle.
The Blackhawks.
Keep your eye on Seattle.
The Blackhawks are the Chicago Blackhawks. Yeah.
It's still too early to talk about.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said way too early.
At least got to get past the All-Star break.
Yes, Seattle Kraken.
Yep. Release the Kraken. Yep.
Well, the Kraken are looking pretty good. I mean, they're still out of the playoffs at this point, but they're putting together solid games.
Yeah, they might not have. I mean, they might not have the firepower talent, but they still look pretty good with the, players they have. But I think the only firepower talent is probably the draft pick from 2020. From I think Matt Beniers is their only firepower talent. I think.
Yeah, Blackhawk down. Yeah.
Definitely Blackhawk down. Blackhawks have been irrelevant for almost 5 years now.
Right. Yeah. Has either one of y'all seen Blackhawk down?
I don't know what happened to Chicago. I mean, it wasn't that long ago.
No, I meant
they were skating around with a cup over their heads.
Right. No, I meant the movie Black.
Movie.
Oh yeah, I got the reference, but
you seen it? Yeah,
oh yeah, I see it right there.
yeah, it's pretty.
Um,
It's a good movie. Yeah,
Yeah, but the Blackhawks have been a bad team for quite a while now.
yeah it had. I mean,
It seems like just a few years ago they were skating around with the Stanley Cup, and
yeah.
now they're
Ever
now
since
they're irrelevant.
ever since Kane left, bleh, and even Taves, what the hell happened to him?
They got old.
Well, still, yeah. Well, Kane's still playing hockey in the NHL. I don't know about Taves, so.
Well, Taves got old and he got hurt. You know,
Oh.
and some players bounce back from injuries, and
Some don't, yeah.
some players just it stays with them, and some players just, like you said, they don't bounce. I mean, that's what happened to Vinny LeCavalier for the Lightning. He took one too many hits and one too many injuries, and he had to shut her down.
bounce or no bounce.
Well, in the case of LeCavalier, you know, he can't he couldn't recover from that last injury. Sanchez doesn't believe that you saw Black Hawk Down.
Yes, well, I have. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Why can't you believe it? I mean, I've seen
I was going
some.
to say, can you believe that Vic doesn't watch movies? I mean,
I know that there's a lot of movies that I haven't seen, but I mean, there's a lot of movies that I have seen. I mean,
I'm only looking forward to one movie this year so far, and that's the Dune Part 2. It's coming out March 1st.
Yeah, and plus you haven't seen the college football movie, which is We Are Marshall.
you're right.
I actually enjoyed that movie. I like We Are Marshall.
Yeah.
Because
It wasn't a bad movie.
It wasn't bad movie, but it was good.
Never mind that Matthew McConaughey looked nothing like the coach he was portraying, but never mind.
Wait, that was Matthew McConaughey? Oh my god.
Yeah.
I didn't notice that.
You know that was Matthew McConaughey, yeah.
Well, wait, Vic, I thought you said you haven't seen it yet.
Well, no, I haven't, but no, I haven't, but I mean,
Okay.
Matt Damon.
I've seen like a trailer.
I've actually heard some good things about this movie. I mean, I stopped watching pro wrestling a long time ago. Obviously, because you grow out of it. But I remember watching wrestling when the Von Erich family was intact. And I mean, look at the Von Erich family. If you go back in history, you look at all the brothers and family members that wrestled. I mean, of all of them that were wrestlers, there's only one left. I think it was Kerry is the only one left alive. I mean, all his brothers, died. It's really a sad story about a family that just got destroyed by the profession.
Yep, destroyed by wrestling.
Yeah. Yeah, Ford versus Ferrari was I want to say it was a amazing. Well, it was a not like amazing, but it's. I think it's still a great movie, but I don't think it's amazing, but it's still great.
I still have to watch that movie. I still, every time I think about watching that movie, I think to myself, who's the actor that plays Carol Shelby?
Well, it's Matt Damon.
Matt Damon playing Carol Shelby. I'm sorry. I've seen plenty of video of Carol Shelby. I've seen plenty of stories about Carol Shelby. Matt Damon is no Carol Shelby. I'm sorry. I don't buy it.
Well, I just watched the movie just for the movie.
Kevin Von Erich, not Kerry. I'm sorry. You're right. I said Kerry. I was thinking Kevin.
Yeah.
He was a guy who wrestled barefoot.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I remember about Kevin Von Erich is he wrestled barefoot. Like, really?
Hey,
Kerry Von Erich was the one that was like steroided up and built like a like a bodybuilder, and had a major drug problem.
Steroid. Yep.
But yeah, I hear that and I heard across my Facebook feed of all places that because of the success of the Iron Claw movie, they're thinking about doing a movie of the Guerrero family. One of the surviving Guerreros is trying to get that project greenlighted. It's like, really? You're going to do a movie about the Guerrero family?
Hey,
Oh,
Saleen.
you never know.
The Guerrero.
Saleen, would you, well, I know Vic hasn't, watched hockey before, but how about we, I want to say teach, but like show him like the history of, the rivalries of hockey? Because I sent you in a private chat for it's a playlist of like history of most heated rivalries, like for NHL, like Colorado, Red Wings. That's a good rivalry, but like Philly and Boston and Montreal and Boston. It goes on. We don't have to watch every episode, but I want Vic to get
Yeah,
into it.
I've gotten into trouble playing those videos before because they're
yeah.
copyrighted.
Okay.
But there are some good videos out there that go into the rivalries of different hockey franchises. Like two of the classic rivalries out there are Boston and Montreal,
Boy, that's too.
and Boston and Philadelphia.
Yep.
And of course, Philadelphia and Pittsburgh. The New York Rangers Islanders rivalry. Boston and Tampa has become a good rivalry in the past few years.
I didn't know it was a rivalry.
Chicago, Detroit.
That's a good one too.
Montreal, Toronto.
English versus the French.
Yep, English and French. Vancouver versus all the Canadian teams because nobody takes Vancouver seriously. And one of the most vicious rivalries is Edmonton, Calgary.
Oh, I thought it was Colorado.
You talk about bloodbaths.
I thought Colorado. Well, I agree with you too, but I thought Colorado and Detroit was a vicious rivalry too.
It was a good rivalry, but not
right.
blood hatred. I mean, not like Chicago, Detroit. Detroit, those games usually degenerated into a bloodbath.
Nice.
And then there were individual rivalries like
Sydney,
Hope Samuelson against pretty much everybody. Dwight Schultz against pretty much everybody.
And also Sydney and Ovi.
Oh, yeah, that was a big one. Well, everybody hates I don't call him that. I call him Cindy Crybaby. Everybody hates
Ovi.
Crosby. Everybody, any hockey fan worth anything lives to see Crosby laid out on the ice.
Oof.
And I remember one playoff game where Zdeno Chara,
oh my goodness,
just laid Cindy Crybaby out. I mean, he just flattened him. He knocked the soul out of him. He actually didn't.
So what was the reason why everyone hated him?
Because he's a crybaby. I mean, every time you touch him, two things happened. Every time you touched him, one of his defensemen, whose name escapes me at the moment, 71, number 71.
Oh, Malkin, yeah.
Malkin. He would come up and try and start some shit. And then Crosby would go cry to the nearest referee with his hands splayed out, to his side.
Hello?
And he's whining about, he hit me, he touched me.
He did what?
Well,
he's a pussy.
So
Cindy Crosby is a pussy. He can't take a hit. And he's always whining and bitching. And he plays like he's entitled to the puck.
You know why he's a crybaby, Saleen?
Because he's a wimp. He can't take a hit.
Well, I was going to say differently, but he looks younger.
Right. So so number 71 did what?
Oh,
He played the goon. You touched.
You still there, Saleen?
You hit Cindy Crosby, and Malkin would
Hello?
be coming up behind you to retaliate.
I think
Crosby couldn't.
I think Vic lost audio to us. I think. Oh, okay. He's trying to say hello, and I think he's just lost audio to us. But I think we can still hear him, but I don't think he can hear us. But whatever.
No, he's fine.
Yeah. I agree. But yeah, I do agree. I want to say I despise Penguins. I just don't like them. I mean, not hate him or despise. I just don't like him.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, my connection was going in and out. So now, what were you saying about that number 71?
Oh, 71 is what back in the old days we called him a goon or an enforcer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Basically, there were certain hockey players, and there still are to an extent. There are certain hockey players that are out on the ice for no other reason than to protect one of the stars. Now, Sidney Crybaby can't take a hit and can't defend himself. So let's say you're a player and you hit Crosby,
mm-hmm.
and knocked him off his feet or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Malkin
would come up behind you at some point and whack into you to send a message: "Don't touch Cindy Crybaby,
mm-hmm.
or I'm gonna be here all game beating
mm-hmm.
up on you because Crosby can't beat up on you. I'm gonna beat up on you."
Mm-hmm.
So, that's the way it was.
Okay, so everyone hated him because he couldn't take a hit. Okay.
Yeah, he couldn't take care of himself. He
Everyone
had the referees or somebody else take care of him.
because he was a bitch. Okay.
Yeah, he was a bitch. Like Eric Lindros. Eric Lindros was built like a tank. He was big guy, could skate pretty well, shot the puck really well. He had all the makings of being a Hall of Fame player. The one problem with Lindros is he couldn't take a hit. Yep. His brain box was made out of peanut brittle. You could touch him with your finger and you could give him a concussion. And that's why Lindros's career was non-existent. And he couldn't take a hit. So you had to have an enforcer around to make sure that if you hit him, somebody else would hit you. Yeah. You remember Wayne Gretzky?
Oof, yeah, the greatest.
Wayne Gretzky is the greatest of all time. I'm not going to deny that. He is a great hockey player. But he was great for a couple of different reasons. Obviously, the main reason was skill. Yeah. But when he was with Edmonton, and you notice he didn't win championships once he left Edmonton because he had Messier around and Tocchet and who's that guy? One of the last guys to play without a helmet.
I forgot.
They were there to protect Gretzky, because if you look at Gretzky, he's not a very big dude.
No,
he's fast as hell, but he's not a big dude, and he's not going to hit you. Lindros was not an enforcer. Lindros was a pussy. But Gretzky was surrounded by big guys that could protect him. But when he left to go to Los Angeles, he lost his protection. And you notice the Kings never won a championship with Gretzky running the team.
I forgot the
right. So you're saying like that crybaby. You're saying that
Crosby, yeah.
He was like LeBron.
Yeah.
Yeah, or La Flop. Yeah.
Queen Jimmy, I call him.
Yeah.
The Fly.
Nature Boy, I'm not sure who you're thinking of, but I got to tell you, Lindros was built like a monster enforcer. Lindros was a big guy,
Yeah.
and he had skill, but he couldn't take a hit.
Nope.
He was so injury prone, it was laughable. And then for a guy that was built the way he was, to see how fragile he was a joke. I can't remember who tried to protect him on the Rangers and the other teams he played for, but Lindros was built like an enforcer, but he couldn't play like one.
I think he's thinking about Bob Probert. I think
It might have been Probert.
Yeah. Well, Probert was like a freaking monster.
Yeah, it might have been Probert was assigned to keep Lindros out of trouble when he played for the Flyers. But when he left the Flyers, he didn't have Probert anymore.
Yeah, Probert the monster.
It's like in Boston.
Yeah.
Bobby Orr was the star. Bobby Orr was the star, but he was built where he could take care of himself, but he didn't have to because he had Cashman and he had Esposito to protect him.
Ouch.
So, every star player has a guy in the background in hockey to protect him.
Right.
Like a more modern example on the Bruins would have been Patrice Bergeron.
Yep.
And Bergeron and the other guy. He also just retired. Who?
George Thomas or something like that, or something.
No. Thomas.
Yeah, have y'all ever seen the movie Goon?
Yes.
No, I've heard about it, but I haven't seen it yet. But Bergeron was one of the stars on the Bruins. But he was an offense-minded defenseman. He wasn't a very big guy, but he always played on the same line as Zdeno Chara. And Zdeno Chara was 270 pounds and 6'9".
Yep.
You didn't want to poke that bear.
Nope.
Because I've seen Zdeno Chara lay out fools easily. I remember what he did to Pacioretty on the Montreal Canadiens. Pacioretty was never the same after that game. Zdeno Chara took his soul. If you ever get to see a replay of that game, there's a YouTuber goes by the handle Defume. Defume. He has a video of a 2011 game between the Bruins and the Canadiens. It's about a 24-minute video. The Bruins ended up winning the game 8-6, and it actually wasn't even that close. The game was good old what they call old time hockey, meaning constant brawls.
We need that back.
Huh?
I said we need that back.
Yeah, we need the old. Well, you'll never see it back because of the instigator rule.
Well, yeah.
They've legislated away fighting in hockey. For a long, the current product is nowhere near what it used to be.
Right.
I mean, bench clearing brawls were the norm, and it was fantastic. But you'll never see those days again.
No.
Unfortunately, they were
maybe a couple of hip checks there and there, but yeah, like you said, you'd never see that.
No, fighting in hockey now is orchestrated bullshit compared to the way it was. But most sports today isn't the way it was. I mean, basketball. There's a reason I call it the National Bitches Association, because they play like bitches. I guarantee you, if LeBron tried to go up the middle against guys like Kareem or Lambeer or Walton or Parrish or McHale, he would have had his head taken off. There's no way Queen Jimmy would be playing in his 20th season or whatever it is. he would have been knocked out of the game years ago.
Yeah, and also
Hockey isn't the same as it used to be. Football certainly isn't the way it used to be.
yeah,
I mean, you can get a penalty. You can get a penalty for pushing somebody now.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
they
think
pussified it.
I think sports wise, like sports in general, just involve in softness.
I call it a devolution.
Yeah, but I sent a second link that is for a Zdeno Chara hits highlights. So,
Well, you watch some highlight films of Zdeno Chara taking people out.
well, I can show
It's a
Vic.
thing of beauty. Thing of beauty.
Vic, you should watch it if you wanted to, but I know you don't really have time.
But anyway, I gotta wrap up because I gotta go. I got things to do, dinner to cook, and it's almost 5:00 anyway. Vic, when are you going live again?
Yeah, on Friday, I guess.
You don't go live on Wednesdays anymore?
No.
Oh,
Well, damn.
all right. So what time on Friday? Go plug your channel.
At 6.
6?
Yeah, and I also might be going live at tomorrow at about 8 or 8:30 tomorrow, unless Lou is doing the morning show. I know he hasn't done the morning show in
for a lot ever.
now. So.
Well, we'll keep an eye out for that. Now, like I said, I've got construction being done on my house next week and probably the week after that, at least. I don't know if I'll be able to stream or not on the 10th. If I don't, Vic will. I guess Vic says he's going to do it. I'll get with Vic and tell him, and I'll put a post up on my community page that nobody reads anyway. So one of us is going to stream on the 10th. I'm not sure who. But I do have big time work being done on my house, which is long overdue, and finally going to get it done. Well, 2024 going to be spending a bit of coin on my house to make it a little bit more modern. Well, and it begins with this bathroom.
Well, it's been good talking as always, Saleen, and thank you for the tips as always. And see y'all. Have a good afternoon.
Thanks for stopping by, Nate the Great, who was not late. Shut up, Chipes. I time your dumb ass out, but I'm too tired. Nick, pleasure as always.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Saleen.
All right. We'll see you soon, man. And for the rest of you, thanks for stopping by. Yeah, even you, shippies. Good to see y'all. Happy New Year. Good to see y'all survived New Year's Eve and nobody got hurt and nobody got killed, which is always a good thing. We'll see you next week, I hope. See what the week brings. Anyway, y'all have a good weekend. Enjoy the game on the 8th. It will be obviously the last college football game, so everybody enjoy it. I think Michigan's going to win the game. Myself, I think it'll be. Hopefully, be a good game. I think it'll be a close game, but I think Michigan will win the game ultimately. But we'll see. So y'all enjoy that. We'll see you soon. Peace.